Troy from Country Wood Products here at the mill. Right now what I'm doing, I'm processing up some of my old stock, the blue stained pine. And the problem with this is I ordered it in the spring, not this year but last. Now the reason it's a good thing is because it's aged and got the blue stain and the orange colors in it. Very beautiful wood. The bad thing is when logs come out of the woods in the spring, it's very muddy. And the reason I've never finished these is it's incredibly tedious to prep for the mill. Even today, there's so much mud still on these logs. It's a nightmare. And I have to debark it. And that's where the bulk of the mud is. But then there's mud around wherever it could get in. It got inside here. There's actual mud still caked on this log. I'll show you here in a minute. It's still there after all this time sitting out in the rain. So right here, it's actual dirt. And dirt is sandpaper to a sawmill blade. I have to get all of this off. And some of it's now under the bark because as it rained all this time, it got down inside, the bark got loose, and I thought maybe it would wash it some. Here's some dirt, and where am I? Here's some dirt, and every one of these spots is absolute sandpaper to the sawmill. Anywhere where it's dry, and around the rim of that, why can I not hold my camera right? Anywhere where it's dry, and around the rim of it is gonna have dirt. So here I can see dirt, physical dirt, where it was exposed originally. I thought it would wash off, but no, it did not. It is still that bad. I was told power washing might help, but it's not going to get it all out. If it hasn't been in all these months, it won't be. But I'll show you why it's so valuable. Here's some really dark blue stain. I mean, that is dark. And that's a natural color. Here's some oranges and dark blues. I've got some 1x12s, happen to be from a really big log here. Here I've got some paneling I've been processing. I've got some weights on it because it's really dry. The logs are quite dry inside. But look, there's browns, orange colors, just a mix of colors and beauty in this wood. So mine doesn't just have the blue stain, it's got some other colors. Here's the blue. It also depends on where in the log it was cut from, how much color you get and what colors you get out of it. Oh, there's a good one. There's a very good example. Very pretty colors in this wood. That was a different log. Over here, there's some colors. Really nice, beautiful. Look at the colors in there. A lot of oranges on this side, a little bit of original white. See that? Now, I'm stuttering and cutting myself off a lot, I know. I got too much on my mind. What happens is beetles, the pine beetles get in, and they have a bacteria that's on them. And the beetles, they pretty much just get up into the bark area. And here's where one was, right under the bark. But when there was a nest right there, see that? But they have that bacteria on them, and the bacteria gets into the wood and seeks the nutrients in the wood, which is actually sort of beneficial because the nutrients are what causes the wood to rot. You want sap-free, clean, dry wood. And the bacteria leaves these colors in the wood. And that sells for a premium. I sell this for $4 a board foot. There's an absolutely, I'm shadowing myself, start over here. There's an absolutely beautiful piece of wood. Look at all the different colors. There's dark colors, there's lighter colors. That's just incredible. Look at the colors in that piece. This is one of my favorites. It's just got all kinds of ranges of colors in it. So that's blue stain. Then I've got, oh yeah, there was another one. Look at that. Look at that piece. And that's a natural beauty that comes from a bacteria that rode in on a beetle. So I have to do the entire surface of this log, round and round, through and through, because it's so nasty filthy. Every single speck of dirt is going to be a spark on my saw blade. I have to do this completely. I've got 3 logs left to do for this morning, and then I wish there was an easier way, but I've tried everything. I don't have a water supply here except for rainwater, and so power washers just don't quite get it all off for me. As bad as this stuff is, it's so caked with mud from when it was harvested out of the forest. So I'll continue on here, clean these up. I don't know if the sparks show up on the camera, but it's sparking pretty good. Let me try right here a little bit. If you see the sparks, it's bad. Every spark would be dulling that blade. I'm being so careful about log positioning on a automated sawmill, push button operation, because right here is the dirtiest part of the log. You can see, actually you can see the dirt stains. There was some bark left here and you can see the mud stains. And this is the worst of the worst right here. So where the original machines processed these logs in the woods, left indentations that I can't clean out well enough. So I really want this upright, so when my blade comes through, it doesn't hit that so bad, the dirtiest part of the log. Now I might hit this with a wire brush again. It doesn't look good enough right there. But better safe than sorry. Now I could cut way faster on this mill, but I'm cutting 1/2 inch thick shiplap. So once these dry, which will only take a few days, this stuff is really dry. Look at it warping on me just from sitting here. Once this dries, I have to run it on the shaper to put the groove in, almost like, well, it's not tongue and groove, like I'll take half off to about 1/2, 3/4 inch deep or so, and then that'll overlap on the opposite, on the bottom edge. I'll take half off, or chunk off here, and then the one overlaps the other, but maybe I'll show you that another time. But these are beautiful boards, incredibly beautiful. And because they're so thin, I have less tolerance on the blade. When the blade hits a knot, it usually wants to do the wave, go and dip in or up or down. And I can't afford that on here, so I'm running the mill much, much slower when I'm running 1/2 inch paneling. And I do get, when I'm shaving down to the last board is a 2x4, or well, 1.5 by whatever on this mill, because I can't quite get it down below 1 inch. So I always just shave off 1.5 by whatever's left of the log at the end of each cant, which is what's left of a log. So that's the last piece, which is essentially a 2x6. But these I'll be cutting into lumber to make my chairs. I'm going to have some blue stain pine chairs in the spring, and they're really, really beautiful. But on the scale here, I covered the Norwood and put timber something or other, I forgot what it was called. I put another magnetic scale on. The white is 1 inch bar, and then next to that is a 1/2 inch plus the thickness of the saw blade. And that's important, because if I'm trying to saw 1/2 inch lumber and I don't account for the thicknesses of stuttering, I don't account for the thickness of the saw blade, then I don't quite get a 1/2 inch. I get about 3/8, and that's just too flimsy. It's no good. This scale also has true 3/4. If you're, where am I? I have to get back used to this camera. It's been a while since I recorded much. There's true 3/4 inch scale, and then there's 1 inch scale plus the saw blade, and then there's 1 1/8. I don't know why I would use that, but anyway, I'm using 1/2 inch scale right now on this. This pretty piece is just a little thin piece, which I'll probably be using for lampshades later. Everything gets used for something, and that's really pretty. That'll make a nice lampshade. Well, I sawed that last log out. I got a bunch of 1/2 inch paneling, which is my primary goal. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pieces of 1/2 by 6 paneling. This will be shiplap, plus a mess of 1 inch thick boards. What I wanted to do was cut this down to a 6 inch wide piece, what you would call a cant, 6 inch by whatever height it is, whatever you get out of it, and then cut down 1/2 inch thick boards off that by 6 inches wide. So I got a lot of 1 inch boards off it, and that's good. I can trim them down into 8s or 10s or whatever I need. usually don't process anything into paneling until I get an order. I just keep raw stock like this, and then sometimes people just want flat edge boards. Some want shiplap, and then of course they can tongue and groove. It's a pretty decent amount from one log. So I run them off the mill fast and throw them up on that rack as fast as I can. And then let's see. Then I sticker. I can shut off the engine and save gas while I sticker them. And in this case, anyway, I don't have any logs left. Look at that. So I'll have to bring some in. Actually, I'm going to clean them outside next time. I'm not doing that in here anymore. I'll run extension cord outside, and I'll do the cleaning out there. Keep the dirt outside. This is where I wish I had help. If I had helper, this would be done. And I'd be out loading in more logs. Well, that's it for them.